Welcome to Middle East Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: Judge rules ex-Ald, Ed Burke's comments on Jewish lawyers can be heard by jury. Now, as ever, prejudices may cut in any direction. Ukraine latest: West wants conflict in Asia-Pacific, Shoigu tells China Forum. A British man is extradited to Germany and indicted over a brutal killing nearly 45 years ago. Cyprus braces for refugee arrivals amid Lebanon war fears. Jordan Gainey on his game-winning free throw for Tennessee basketball at Michigan State. Judge rules ex-Ald, Ed Burke's comments on Jewish lawyers can be heard by jury. Now, as ever, prejudices may cut in any direction. Yahoo! A federal judge has ruled that former Alderman Edward Burke's allegedly insensitive comments on wiretaps about Jewish lawyers can be heard by the jury at his upcoming corruption trial. Burke's attorneys had argued vehemently to exclude statements the powerful ex-alderman made on the recordings about the Jewish heritage of the developer of the old post office, whom Burke was allegedly pushing to hire his private law firm for property tax work. Ukraine latest: West wants conflict in Asia-Pacific, Shoigu tells China Forum. Nikkei Asia. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu has warned the West that its involvement in the Ukraine war carries the threat of a direct military clash between nuclear powers. Speaking at a security forum in Beijing, Shoigu accused the West of trying to raise tensions in the Asia-Pacific region and said that exchanges of missile launch information between the US and its Asian allies are meant to contain China and Russia. He also said that Russia is ready for talks on the post-conflict settlement of the Ukraine crisis and on further coexistence with the West. A British man is extradited to Germany and indicted over a brutal killing nearly 45 years ago. Associated Press. A 70-year-old British man has been extradited to Germany and charged with the murder of a retiree in Munich in 1978. The victim, aged 69, was last seen on December 30, 1978, and his body was found in his bathtub on January 2, 1979. An autopsy revealed he had died from at least 10 blows to the head. Cash, keys, and a ring were stolen from the victim's home. The suspect was arrested in the UK in March 2022 and extradited to Germany in April. German officials have not released the names of the victim or the suspect. Cyprus braces for refugee arrivals amid Lebanon war fears. Al Jazeera. Cyprus has received 458 Syrian refugees from Lebanon in a week, with authorities in Cyprus bracing for a larger influx of asylum seekers as clashes on the Lebanese border with Israel escalate. There are concerns that the Israel-Hamas conflict could spark a wider regional conflict, prompting more Syrians to flee the country. Lebanon hosts approximately 805,000 United Nations registered Syrian refugees. However, officials estimate the actual number to be between 1.5 and 2 million. Jordan Gainey on his game-winning free throw for Tennessee basketball at Michigan State. Yahoo! In an exhibition game against Michigan State, Jordan Gainey made a game-winning free throw with 1.9 seconds left for Tennessee basketball. As Biden responds to Iran-linked attacks with airstrikes, fears of a wider war grow. Yahoo! The U.S. is reportedly on the brink of a major war with Iran. Since October 7, the U.S. military has been increasingly drawn into conflicts with forces armed and trained by Iranian leaders. Iranian-backed militias have launched 19 ballistic drone attacks on U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria, injuring 21 American troops. If an attack kills U.S. troops, President Biden faces pressure to respond forcefully, which could result in a direct war with Iran. The U.S. has therefore deployed 2 aircraft carrier groups to the Middle East, stationed jets at Turkey's Incirlik Air Base, and added fighter jets to the region. Alonso, Aston and a miserable decline which could have consequences. The Independent. Fernando Alonso has admitted that he and the Alpine team are now fighting for nothing during the 2023 Formula One season. The two-time world champion's mood has become apathetic following Aston Martin's significant drop in performance. Despite starting the season with potential and excitement, Alonso has experienced a lack of success, having recorded just one podium finish in the last 11 Grands Prix. The team has gone from being the second strongest to the 5th best team on the grid. McLaren, with their revolutionary upgrades, has replaced Aston Martin as a leading contender. Chant from the river to the sea, deeply offensive to many, says Downing Street. The Independent. Downing Street has described the chant from the river to the sea as deeply offensive, amid controversy surrounding the rhetoric used during recent pro-Palestinian demonstrations. The Prime Minister's official spokesman said it was a matter for the police to decide on the appropriate response, but added that the language used would be of significant concern to many. Home Secretary Sala Braverman has previously described the slogan as anti-Semitic and argued that it is widely understood to seek the destruction of Israel. Hello, viewers. It's your favorite observer from the six-dimensional world, Dr. Six. I hope you're all doing well and ready for another dose of news and analysis. Let's dive right in. In Chicago, former Alderman Edward Burke is facing corruption charges, and a federal judge has ruled that his allegedly insensitive comments about Jewish lawyers can be heard by the jury. Prejudices, it seems, can cut in any direction. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out in the trial. Moving on to international news, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu has accused the West of trying to raise tensions in the Asia-Pacific region. He warned that the West's involvement in the Ukraine war could lead to a direct military clash between nuclear powers. It's a serious situation, but I can't help but wonder if Shoigu has considered starting a book club instead of escalating tensions. Just a thought. In a surprising turn of events, a 70-year-old British man has been extradited to Germany and charged with a murder that occurred almost 45 years ago. Talk about a cold case. It just goes to show that justice can sometimes take a while, but it's never too late. On a more somber note, Cyprus is bracing for an influx of Syrian refugees as clashes on the Lebanese border with Israel escalate. The Israel-Hamas conflict has the potential to spark a wider regional conflict, and it's heartbreaking to see innocent people caught in the crossfire. Let's hope for a peaceful resolution soon. In sports news, Jordan Gainey made a game-winning free throw for Tennessee basketball against Michigan State. It's always exciting to see those clutch moments in sports, and I'm sure Gainey's teammates are grateful for his skills at the free throw line. Turning to the geopolitical arena, tensions between the US and Iran are escalating. Iranian-backed militias have launched multiple attacks on US bases, and there are fears of a wider war. As always, we hope for a peaceful resolution, but it's a reminder that the world can be a complicated place. In the Middle East, there are reports that Israel is forcibly relocating residents of the Gaza Strip. It's a distressing situation, and the use of English in the announcement has raised eyebrows. I can't help but wonder if the Israeli military is in need of a language consultant. I'm available, by the way. In financial news, US stocks have rebounded after a rough week. The Federal Reserve decision and Apple earnings are on the horizon, so investors are bracing themselves for some big moves. Keep an eye on those numbers, folks. In the world of Formula One, Fernando Alonso and the Alpine team are having a tough season. Alonso admits they are fighting for nothing at this point, and the team has dropped from second strongest to fifth best on the grid. It's a reminder that even the best can have their ups and downs. Lastly, the chant "from the river to the sea" used during pro-Palestinian demonstrations has been deemed deeply offensive by Downing Street. The language used in these demonstrations has sparked controversy, and it's a reminder of the sensitivities surrounding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. That's all the news for today, folks. Remember, these are just snippets of what's happening around the world. If you have any thoughts or questions about these stories or anything else, I'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the escalating tensions between the US and Iran? Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.